Amigos, today we are going to talk about the excellent capabilities of Dynamics 365 when it is brought in companionship with WorkIQ. Copilot Studio WorkIQ is an amazing tool that can bring intelligence into enterprise approvals by automating decision workflows, routing requests to right stakeholders, and integrating seamlessly with Microsoft Dynamics 365 and the data. What I mean by this is an WorkIQ in itself is an bonanza offering you automated approvals, license based accesses, context aware decisions, seamless integrations, error handling, adaptive routing, multi channel approvals. It in essentially can support you approvals via Teams, Outlooks, or directly inside Copilot Studio agents, or even you can also leverage a lot of other channels, even with WhatsApp. Now, it can also help you with ERP and CRM integrations, real time monitoring, AI driven insights, and scalable deployment. For example, I have created a very simple Copilot Studio agent called Sales Nova. I've given a very poetic name like this. And inside this, I've given certain instructions. Say, for example, I've written in the step one to monitor incoming emails. And if you see in an email that it is asking you to create sales order, you get the extract of the sales order, you get the extracts of the body of the email, and get the customer name, or rather the customer number, the product details, the quantity, price, and any references that you need to create a sales order correctly. And when creating the draft sales order, you just call ERP MCP server, the Model Context Protocol server, which I have also added as a tool. And I've given some kind of a check, like if the quantity is greater than 1,000, a certain limit, you can make it dynamic, you can make it some kind of a hard coded value. And if you see that the quantity, that is the quantity that email body is asking you is more than 1,000, and we need to get permissions from your immediate manager. So by calling step number 3, which is the next step, and if not, if the quantity is well within the range, then you say straight go to step number 4, that is creating the sales order directly. So in step number 3, I am calling WorkIQ tool as an approval workflow using request for information tool. If the approver is a immediate manager, if the immediate manager is basically what the WorkIQ needs to do is to find out from the organization hierarchy. The message is going to be very simple: approval needed for the sales order creation for so and so quantity, and capture the response into a variable called the approval status. If the approval status, if this variable is found to be true, or approved, or yes, then we are going to go for the creation of the sales order. If not, then we need to intimate the incoming sender, I mean the sender from which the email is coming. We have to intimate them that the sales order cannot be created because this has not been approved. Now, it might so happen, like, you have to keep the provision open for if what if the sales order does not need an approval. In that case, this variable won't be set at all. It would be false, but it won't be set at all. So that's what I am saying. If the approval status is not set, or if the approval status is set and is equals to true, then you need to create the sales order by calling the ERP MCP server, and then confirm order creation back to the requester. So this is what I'm doing in step 4. And else, suppose the approval status is set but equals to false, then you have to intimate the sender saying that the sales order not been approved by manager, we cannot take it any further. I'm also asking it to log approval decisions and sales orders creation status and everything. In everything I need to monitor, I need to log, I need to take a record of it. I need to keep a record of it. Just in case, I'm also saying, just in case if the sender is asking to talk to immediate manager, then find out the earliest time from WorkIQ calendar, from the WorkIQ MCP server, and need to create a calendar Teams invite and send out a meeting with the immediate manager. All responses must be in the email friendly responses, that is HTML. Otherwise, it's going to look very, very gibberish and unreadable. So, with that, let me take you to the demo actually how it works. All right. So first things first, let's go to Office 365 Admin Central page. And if we go to the users, active users, and we are finding out the users in our tenant, in our subscription, and this is the user with which I am creating the agents, I'm creating the instructions, I am giving the instructions to the agents, I'm executing them. And if I get into this user, let's assure like the user is given with proper managerial hierarchies. So this user is given to this user as the manager. And also, if we go to the license and apps, let's also see that we are having Microsoft 365 Copilot assigned to this user or not. That is very important. Otherwise, your work IQ won't execute at all. So I am saving. I'm saving the changes and I'm coming out. Then let's go to Dataverse. Dataverse settings, that is Power Platform Admin Center, and we go to the manage, and we are going to the getting into the features of the environment which we are using. And deep inside, we have to check two things. That is the Dataverse search. If this toggle is turned on, that is turned on search indexing to support Dataverse intelligence, that is work IQ in AI and agent experience. This is most important and first step. And another step is to check out the allow MCP server to MCP clients to interact with the Dataverse MCP server. This is also important. And last but not the least, in Dataverse intelligence group, inside this group we need to assign, we need to just ensure like turn on Dataverse intelligence for AI and agents and AI experiences. This is the most important thing, this is the most important toggle that you need to turn on, else your the managerial hierarchies or organizational hierarchies won't take part when you are doing the work IQ based calculations. So without much ado, let me come back to the execution. So in this example, you can see I have got an email saying that can you create a sales order for this customer, this site and this location for USMF legal entity, and these are the details of the lines that the agent needs to create. For the item code is 1000, and then it's saying for 2000 quantities and unit price 120. And I've created a very simple flow, which is basically calling our agent. So whenever a new email arrives, it's going to call the agent based on the classification, that it's going to check if the instructions, if the mail body is at all requesting the requesting to create a sales order or not. So based on that, it's going to call the agent. If not, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to ignore. Okay, so in the agent, I'm just calling our sales Nova, which I was explaining earlier, and it's passing on the body of the email. And just here, if I go to the activity, it's see like I have got an email coming in, and it's analyzing the content, and it's actually calling the agent, and it's basically analyzing the response of the agent. It's waiting for the agent's execution. And if you see, this mailbox belongs to the manager of the user who was executing it, and this mail has come for the approval of for creation of the sales order. As a sales ordered quantity is more than 1000, so the quantity order is 2000. Do you want to approve that? It's asking for an approval. So what I am doing is that I am approving the sales order and hitting on submit. So this is expected because the work IQ has found out the executing accounts reporting manager from the organizational hierarchy and has sent for an approval. So once the approval is received, and this is what was actually happening behind the scenes, if we are going to get into the activities, so we would see that basically it is going to analyze, it's going to sense that some kind of approval is required as the quantity is more than the allowed proof of the quantity, allowed threshold of the quantity, and it's going to execute the action of getting the approval from the immediate manager. And once the manager confirms this, it's going to get the details. Like you see, you get, it's going to call the users, graph users, APIs, and it's going to pass on the details. It's going to pass on the details of the sales order instructions that is expected to be called, and then it's going to give you back the execution summary, the get users managerial information, name, email, job titles, etc. And all these things are basically getting completed in this much amount of time. And once the approval is received, it's coming back and it's going to send you this notification: the sales order has been successfully created. This is how it works, and you can apply more and more logic to your agents. You can also help the end users help with the incoming mails to redress various kinds of escalations. So for example, I further got a mail like this: I'm not happy with the response, can you set up a call with your manager at the earliest? For which, let's see what the agent responds. And in response, in no time, we are getting an invitation based on the inputs that actually we have escalated, and it understands the manager who is responsible to be to participate, and the sender from whom this has gone, along with the party who is responsible for executing the agent. And before wrapping up the discussion, let me take you to the tools that I have used in my agent. Request information is what that we needed to get the approval from the immediate manager, just in case any additional approval is needed. In our case, the quantity was exceeding the permissible limits, so that's why an approval was needed, and hence we used request information. Work IQ calendar was needed for getting the nearest slot that is available for all of the intended participants' calendar. Work IQ, as you can rightly guess, is Work IQ and Work IQ user, as you can rightly guess. These are the primary constituents for interacting the organization hierarchical based interactions. Any kind of managerial permissions or any kind of managerial dealings that you want to do any kind of monitoring of your mailboxes. So this is what you need to add. Apart from that, if I come back to the overview tab, I could tell you what are the additional agents that I've added. So, and from my agent, I'm also calling this agent Copilot for Finance and Operation apps to create the records in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, and also get the details of the record created. I'm also in my tools. In my tools, I have added the tools that I was mentioning, and I'm referring them in my instructions, in my agentic instructions themselves. And also, and at the last, I'm asking, like, in order to create a Teams meeting, a Teams invite, you make use of the WorkIQ calendar MCP, so as to find out the slot that is available for all of us, the agentic executor, their managers, and the sender. With that, let me take your leave. Let me know what you felt about this video, and I would request you to try all these situations at your end once. Let me know how it goes. Give me a nudge if you need any assistance. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like always, much love. Soups.